What's going on, YouTube? Hanley here with another episode of Rum Chats, episode 29. We have a special guest, owner, founder of Rebel Armour out in Winnipeg. I'm going to let him introduce himself, so go ahead, my dude, introduce yourself, let him know who you are.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me. I'm honored and humbled to be here. Bonjour, Nibui Sabe, Indigenous Cause Magazine Nodem. My name is Standing Sasquatch Man, and I'm from the Eagle Clan, and my given name is Sean RAYLAND, and I'm from the Anishinaabe Nation and from Sagging here in Manitoba. Like my brother said, I founded Rebel Armour. How far did you want me to go with the introduction? You just want me to introduce Rebel Armour too?
Go into it, man.
So I'm going to introduce my brand, my business, my social enterprise is Rebel Armour, and it's an indigenized streetwear brand on a vision quest to achieve a quadruple bottom line, and we promote culture reclamation, reconciliation, and intergenerational healing through our designs and brand voice. So this design right here, Supreme Chief, our brother, we sent it over. You could see this was made to commemorate Chief Sitting Bull. He became supreme leader in 1869. So that's why I wanted to commemorate that. And people ain't talking about that. That's a huge accomplishment, especially given the time. Don't mind my daughter in the background. But I wanted to put that out there because our youth and our people, we need to see more of our heroes. So we need to hear more of that, right? Even though I'm not directly tied into the Sioux Nation, it's still a hero for us, and we still need that. So I wanted to, through this design, not only make something super dope, super cool to wear, it's also educational, and it's just reinforcing reconciliation.
And I find you have that with a lot of your drops, there's an education behind it.
Yes, there's always a story. There's always education. It's part of our vision and mission when I'm talking about culture reclamation. Well, what does that even mean for me as an Anishinaabe?
I was going to ask, what does that mean to you personally?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I never even knew what that meant growing up, because growing up here in Winnipeg, I was never white enough for the white guys, or never native enough for the native guys, or brown enough for the brown guys. And I always used to say that because I am half English and I am half Ojibwe, and Anishinaabe is that's our word for Ojibwe, right? It's not a colonial term like indigenous, right? That's a colonial term. That's
I apologize for that.
Exactly. This is our word. This is what we're saying. My girl in the background. And so Anishinaabe, the translation that I've been taught, not only describes my people, but it means lowered from the stars, the ones that were lowered from the stars. So that's the direct translation.
And so, like, when it comes to people speaking about, like, the indigenous peoples of Canada and stuff like that, how should they, like, address them? Should it be indigenous people, the native peoples?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for people to differentiate because they don't know which one's going to trigger somebody differently and which one's not. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of ignorance out there still, and it's. I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, it's there.
Canada's not as innocent as people think.
No, it ain't. It ain't, and that's why I talk about as much as I could on social media, and I try to put it from a perspective too, from educational. I'm glad you picked up on that, from healing too, because it's not like I'm not trying to come out with my brand and point fingers. I'm trying to say, how can we work together? And
exactly.
That's just it, right? That's it. How can we work together? And what you're saying there, to answer your question, there is no one size fits all. I can't speak for every Anishinaabe, indigenous person, whatever. I know, like, the politically correct right now is indigenous. So I would say to allies out there, people that want to support the movement, use the word indigenous, depending on your region and depending on how close you are, right, with certain people.
Right.
Yeah.
And you describe your brand as an indigenized urban wear, right?
Yes, it's a indigenized streetwear.
And
I
where
went.
did
I
that
didn't.
influence come from? Like the urban
Okay.
aspect.
Okay. So basically, Red Rebel Armor is a reflection of me. Is a reflection of my life story, my personality, what I value and believe. Because this I was actually talking with someone that started working with us. But when we look at the street part here, I grew up in the hood here in Winnipeg. So, that's always going to be ingrained in me. Like, I got out 2018 from my last trafficking bit, and I just wanted to change my life. What I found in jail was my culture. I spoke to an elder. We started learning about history, and I'm like, well, fuck, no wonder why I'm sitting here in jail. It's happened historically, and it's happening systemically. So this is why I'm thinking the way I do, right? So that's what led me to jail. But we're not going to go through my whole personal story. But so now when we're looking at the brand, it's a combination of my street life. It's a combination of my culture, what I'm learning, and how do I bring that together? And then how do I help other men that are in jail or other youth that are in jail? How do I bring that in? So that's the social enterprise piece. So these are all the components I was playing with for the past few years, and I'm finding out how they're just working together. So that's how we get the street with the indigenized piece.
Yeah, and I think that's important that you're trying to help people change the way they think about the reasons why they're at where they're at the moment.
Well, exactly.
It's not always about blaming something or someone. It's about looking at yourself for a second too, from a different perspective. Like you said, you found someone to look at life, let's say, at a different perspective while you were doing a bid, and
Yeah,
now
exactly.
you're out and you've obviously progressed to a level that you're happy with right now, but there's never enough progression, you know what I mean? So congratulations on all that.
Yeah, miigwech for that. And it's, to answer your question further, it's taking that mentality of surviving on the street, especially what I was involved in. I'm an ex-gang member selling drugs. So it's like, look at all the skills that I gained. Even though I was doing fucking crime and that shit, I still gained valuable skills in sales, marketing, fucking management, operations, right? So now when I started walking this legit path, I'll say, I still, even though I'm legit, I still feel like a prisoner, a different kind of prisoner. But I won't get right into that just yet. But it's like, okay, fuck, I forget where I'm going. I'm losing steam. But okay, what did I say there? Because I jumped thoughts.
So you were saying, like, basically, you feel like you're still a prisoner.
Okay, so I know I was saying something before that, man. I lost that. I lost that thought. But yeah, just for okay, no, that's what I was talking about. Sorry, I just got a lot going on.
All good.
Was taking those skills and applying it to something healthy, right? And it did start maybe 5 years ago. I was on house arrest. I was on bail waiting for the bid that I did, but I was on bail on house arrest, and I'm like, fuck, I can't go back to that. I can't sell anything. So I started going online, and I just started fucking trying to figure out how to make money on there. So what I'm saying is that those skills from that life are transferable. So now what I'm advocating for here, this building that I'm in the Social Enterprise Center here in Winnipeg, and there's other organizations here that employ people that face barriers to employment, such as a criminal record, such as no transportation, no nutrition, right? So I want to employ, that's basically what I'm doing. I want to use their employment model for this industry. But not only that, the guys that I know that are from the street or locked up, they already possess those skills in sales, marketing, all these things from surviving. So it's just like, look, let's take that mindset, apply it over here, and things will be a lot better, right? Easier said than done, of course, but that's the social enterprise aspect of Red Rebel Armor.
Yeah, and it's giving back to your community and your people, like you said, which is important. And things like this could only blossom out of the concrete if someone plants that seed.
Fucking right. And waters it every single day, even if it's just a little drip, because sometimes that's how it is, right? But that's what's going to break that concrete so that rose can rise, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And no, it's definitely like the giving back to the community part I relate to because I do the mental health podcast and an arts podcast because, I mean, I've done my dirt in the past too, and I've done everything. Like, I'm open about it on my show and everything, including mental health. And it's an arts podcast too, so we have a lot of hip hop artists and stuff, but they're open about their mental health.
Yeah,
and, you know, it reaches an audience in a different way than just listening to someone talk about their music for an hour.
Yeah,
and
exactly. Right,
instead
exactly.
You're hearing them talk about things that they gone through or they've suffered with, and other people are dealing with the same thing. So
yeah.
and I found a lot of audience has been Indigenous listeners, and which I'm not surprised by because the statistics with mental health, mental illness in that community is quite high.
Yeah.
So, which is why I brought up the idea with you the other day about collaborating in some sort so we could both get back to two separate communities in the same capacity.
Oh, you know what? With that, I wanted to. I was actually saving it to talk to you. I have a Sundance brother that's he's involved in the mental health community here in Winnipeg, and he works for an organization. It's a nonprofit that helps peoples with mental health to develop business plans.
Okay.
So it's really cool organization. They needed some content for an ad they were making. So he sent someone down here. They did a video, but in terms of mental health, like since we're touching on it for myself, coming through this COVID thing, like going into it, I just fucking got my shit together, started going to school, whatever, all these things you're supposed to do in society. And then COVID came, and then now I had to switch up and do this online thing and go through that. And I was just learning how to be human again. So what I mean by that is I have 8 daughters. So when I decided to change my life and live a better way, I had to learn how to touch another human being again, because everything before that was either violent or it was sexual, right? Because I was either fighting somebody or doing whatever, right? Or I was either with women. So now I'm a father. I have to be a father. How do you do that? How do you be gentle?
You just you can't just flick a switch.
No, you can't. It's all, you have to just I want to say deinstitutionalize yourself, but that's basically what it is, right? And it's all these little things. You'll find yourself sitting in a room with nothing on, just sitting there. But with like when okay, so now I'm getting healthy, I'm gaining momentum. Boom, COVID hits. Now COVID's finished. Not finished, it's still here, but I have to learn how to be a human being again, because I can't just go hug anybody. I can't just go do all these things. And it's messing with me because when I see people before COVID, I was hugging lots. It was like, hey, from thug life to hug life. So I'm hugging now. Now I can't.
Hug life to hug life. I like it.
Right. So that was my saying. And so now it's like, it's just strange being in rooms with lots of people, all these things. I get anxiety. I don't know. I'm just dealing with lots of that.
Yeah, and I relate to that. Like, I'm diagnosed bipolar, so I have like ups and downs, and like I'm upfront about it. If someone messages me and like asks me if we're doing something, I'll be like, I can't do it today. Like, I just can't. Like, I can't get out of bed. You know what I mean? It's just not happening. But like things like this, interviews like these are like important to me, because it's not just talking about what someone's doing for themselves. It's more what they're doing for like a community, or for their community first, and the community outside of that afterwards. And some people think when it's all for one community or something, it's selfish, but really it's not. It's you stick to like where your home is first, and then you branch out.
Well, exactly. If you can't heal your home, that's good, my girl. If you can't heal your home, how can you heal anyone else, right? If you can't heal yourself, how can you heal someone else?
Exactly.
Same thing. Yeah, for sure.
So, a little more about Rebel Armour. When was it officially founded?
It was officially founded October 2018, but I didn't put it on paper. So I don't know what if officially founded you're saying on paper or just when I decided to go all in.
I guess when you decided to go all in, when did you
Yeah.
think of
So October 2018.
Okay.
And so like I didn't have so I did have these skills in sales and all these things. But to learn online, I just had to first I started with free trials, then I started investing a little bit of money here when I got my taxes, right? Because I was working a part-time job when I got out, so I didn't have lots of money. I was straight struggling, free trial, everything, going on YouTube. All these people are just like, oh, earn money like this, earn money like that. So I just went down that rabbit hole, and here I am right now, still just going.
Right, and you seem like it's picked off a lot since 2018, though. How's it been? How's the response been to it?
So the response has been like what would be a good way to describe it besides good and great and lots of feedback? It gives me a feeling. That's the best way to describe it, because I have customers like you, not saying you're a customer, but I'm talking about what you mentioned earlier with the educational piece, being able to participate in reconciliation. For some people, for them buying a t-shirt, that's their way of participating or saying like, look, I support you, but I just can't be in the streets with you at every protest or whatever, right? But I got your back like this, right? So I would say there's different levels to that, but that'd be the best way to describe it, is just humbling. It has to be humbling. That's it.
That's always a good feeling, though, to know that you've made an outreach on someone or a bunch of people, whether it's one person or it's 10 people or 1,000 people. It's good to know that they're picking up what you're trying to put out, like you said with the educational part. Like, I picked up on that right away after like going through your page and on it and checking your website. So, that's important because, like I said, there's still so much ignorance towards like how Canada is in this shithole of a situation that they've made for themselves, really.
Yeah.
And,
For sure. It's
they just picked up where the British left off.
Well, it's like I have these conversations lots, and when we're talking about colonization, because that's what we're talking about right now, and history is like, where did I heard there's this famous, he used to be like an AIM member, what's his name, John something, oh yeah, John Trudell. So I used to listen to this guy, like, you should check him out on YouTube if you have time.
The name sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, he has like, man, I forgot what he was gonna say even. But John Trudell, very good to check him out. What was I gonna mention again there? Shante threw me off. I'm sorry, bro.
It's all good.
You're dropping the ball there. Yeah. Something about colonization and history. Oh, who colonized the white man? Right? Where did that behavior come from? Because it's an imbalance, right? The society we live in today is all patriarchy. It's all patriarchal, man run, right? Man stepped out of balance, right? We're supposed to be there with our females. That's the way, when I think of trying to find out where did all these behaviors come from, all this ego, that's what it is. It's like, I gotta dominate that other country. I want those resources. I want that. What would make someone think like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
power and control.
It is. It's a sick world that we live in, man, because a lot of these things, it's all smoke and mirrors, but the people that affects it, not smoke and mirrors, they see right through it.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right. That's just like there's elections coming up. I'm not going to say too much about that, but it feels like smoke and mirrors because every time we vote, I don't really feel any impacts from anything, really.
Well, they make like they make the promises like to your communities, and they don't pull through on them, and then they do
Yeah,
things that bring out more anger from your communities, and they wonder why. Well, not only did you not fulfill the promises that you made, you've
yeah,
added on top of that now with
and you're fighting us in court,
exactly and
right?
fighting you in court over residential schools, which is beyond me. It makes zero
It
sense
just,
how they could even justify having a reason to go to court over it.
I just don't get it.
No,
It's because I
and it's a
think,
touchy subject too, and like
yeah, it is. It is a tough
I
touch.
speak about it here and there with people, and I don't always bring it up because, like I
Yeah,
said, not a lot of people are. Even myself, I'm not completely fully educated on it. That's why I
yeah.
have interviews like this to get educated from people like you who understand it, who have been there, who live it, and
But just to chime in, there's a purpose why you were never meant to know, or why you don't know, and why most of Canada doesn't know, and why I barely know too, as an Indigenous person, right? Is because it's so ugly. Because I think the fucking power can change. It could just sway, right? And that's why they don't want people to know, because that truth could sway the power, right?
definitely.
That's the only reason I could think. Fucking
And
who
that
would want to
power
give
needs
up
to
their
be
power and
swayed.
control?
That power needs to be swayed.
It definitely does, to equality, right?
I don't think this election's going to do it, if I'm going to be completely honest, because the numbers on the poll tracker is not looking very good.
Yeah,
And yeah, but enough about politics.
yeah,
About the residential school thing, you guys have a drop for that as well?
yeah. So we actually last year. Okay, I'm going to mention this too. So a year before last year, we never wanted to print anything to do with MMIWG or Orange Shirt, just because we never wanted to make any profits of that, right? But at the next year after that, an organization right here next door to us, but at last year I was in my basement, but they reached out to me and they said, we got this design, but we want to collaborate with somebody that wants to donate the money to the Orange Shirt Society. And I'm like, okay, I'm in, because that's the only reason why I didn't touch that. And so we're doing it again. We're currently working on it right now. And yeah, we've been fulfilling orange shirts today and just raising some money there. So
And you do all the printing and stuff on your own? You have your own printing and stuff like
yeah, we have our own. So we got a heat press in the background right there. So we got like a 300 square foot shop. I would bring you or show you guys without it
yeah,
being
go
too
ahead.
shaky. Well, there's my partner.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
So the way we even have the shop set up, I'm going to show you this here too. I got like a bunch of these bins here.
Yeah.
And so the reason why we have the bins like that is because all the t-shirts are organized by size, not by color. Because
Okay.
we do a lot of e-commerce things. It's like, okay, I need a small black, small whatever. And the reason why we don't have a bunch of shirts already pre-printed is because we're reducing waste, and it's just makes sense for us economically, and we can control our stock, right? So the sale comes in, then we print it. Then as otherwise, we could print like 1,000 or 100 of one design, and it might not sell. You know what I mean? Like,
You're amazing to me, man, because like not only are you doing things for your people, the community surrounded by you, the streets, the people in the streets, at-risk youth, but you're also doing like an environmental impact in a sense as well by reducing waste. You can see that like your surroundings and your education is motivated and transpired into what you've created as a brand now. And a lot
yeah,
of people just pick up an idea. They just want to make a shirt, make merchandise, and just make money off it. But like obviously the end goal is to be able to be self-sufficient, but as well as give back at the same time. It looks like it's a 50-50 when it comes to that for you.
That it is, and that's my belief is like, man, I can't just do this for me. Really, for me, like I could just chill. I could just chill in a bachelor apartment and just live like I'm a humble guy like that. I don't need all this shit. The only reason why I'm doing all this is so I can help more people. You know what I mean? So yes, I want to make money. Yes, I want to leave a legacy for my kids. But what's more important to me is that there's less people out there struggling, right? It's like, yeah, I changed my life. That's good. But you know what? I didn't change my life for me. I changed it so I could help other people change too, right? And when I say change, I'd rather prefer the word growth.
Give me that.
Right?
I hear you. Growth is a good word. As opposed to change. Definitely growth.
Yeah. So I always got these babies near me, and that's why I do it. The next 7
she's
generations,
the boss, bro.
Right?
She's the boss.
Oh yeah, she is. I'm teaching her as much as I could.
Hi.
I'm teaching her what I wish I could have been taught, right?
Yeah. But no, man, you're definitely doing right by your family. I can definitely see that. Like I reached out to you because I wanted to work somewhat by helping you promote the brand as much as I can. I've been wearing it wherever I can. So I mean, I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. So I've had people already. I've seen people's stories on my Instagram have like your posts from like years ago, like a couple years ago, like posted and stuff, like
cool.
And people are asking me about like indigenous culture, and like I'm like, well, you should reach out to the people that are actually doing. I'm like, they're just sponsoring a show, and I'm helping them by promoting the brand. I'm like, they're probably better off to like help you find out like what tribe you were part of or anything like that. Like I can't do that, you know, like
for sure.
I've seen people reaching your page. I don't know if it's accumulated a sale or anything yet, but slowly but surely as my thing picks up off the ground, because I just started in March, and I'm the same way as you. I didn't do it because it doesn't make me any money right now. Like it's a non-profit. All I'm doing is giving back to people that are struggling in their head with mental health and mental illness. So like that's my goal. And with the like we said, we'll get into it after about the collaboration thing, but there's an end game that I want with the collaboration where both of us get that feeling that you talk about after you know what I mean, that feeling you were speaking on.
Yeah.
Because I get that after every big interview I do. Like I've had Chocolare like on an interview.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I had him on the podcast the other day, and like he was talking about his mental health problems, and like you wouldn't expect Chocolare to be on a podcast talking about these type of things unless I was willing enough to push buttons and ask questions that are like I'm iffy on answering it, but then they realize what the show's for and they participate. So I'm definitely glad we have this of these days technology, so I'm able to talk to you and stay in contact like we do. So like if it wasn't for Instagram, I wouldn't have found your brand necessarily.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is fucking dope. We get to talk and we just get to connect, right?
And I love you. It was a good vibe right off the start. There was no like I just reached out with what I had to offer, because all I really have to offer is my face and wearing the clothing at the time, because I'm a broke boy, man. I'm living month to month on disability because of mental health issues and shit like that. So like when I can give back and I can purchase, I'll definitely be there to get one of the either orange shirts so I could get back to, like you said, your neighboring organization and yourself. And same thing with promoting it out in Ottawa, because there's a lot of Indigenous in Ottawa.
Okay.
Big community. So, and that's when I wear the sweater downtown. Like it's a lot of the Indigenous people are like, "That's an awesome shirt. Where'd you get it?" And I'm like,
That's what I was hoping for.
Well, like I knew who it was the minute I opened the shirt. Like I already, he's like, if you know somewhat about history, then you know who this is. He obviously has a lasting name that won't be forgotten.
Yeah, for
But when
sure.
you see the shirt, you remember him more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It brings it. It's just like, brings it back to life for that moment.
And are all these designs thought of through you? Are these your designs?
Yeah. So like, I come up with the ideas and I contact my graphic designer that I've been working with the past few years, and Kale Bonham, shout out to her, California Tattoos, hit her up, amazing artist. Yeah. So I just say, Kale, this is what I got going on in my head. Here's some references, and we just work together like that. And
Work.
then I do lots of I'm not as skilled as Kale. Like the Supreme Chief, I was able to design that, but some of the work she does is just incredible. I can't do that. I know basic stuff.
Yeah, likewise. I can't do any like Photoshop work for shit. So
Yeah, exactly. I still use GIMP and I still use Inkscape. Well, they're
yeah,
free, you
I'm
know.
using I use Canva and I use Headliner for my videos.
Okay, sick. Yeah, Canva's good too.
Yeah, it's good if you're making quick flyers and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think for now, like we'll catch up in a couple months, see where the business has grown to since then. And
Yeah, let's do that for sure, because I have a few things I can't talk about just yet. But once these things are written down, then boom, I'd
that's
like to share
cool.
that with you.
That's cool, man. That's definitely like anytime you want a platform to speak your mind and speak about these things, you're logged in my book now, so you're definitely a contact. So, and I consider you a friend now because definitely you've
Okay.
been supportive, and I hope that uh, I reciprocated that support and you've seen it. I hope I've been showing the support as much as I can.
I feel the love, bro. I feel the love.
All right, definitely. So we'll cut the episode for now
Okay.
here.
All right.
Shout out to Red Rebel Armor for the Supreme Chief shirt. Go to the website. I'll let you give them the links, and
Okay.
then we'll take it out from there. So I've been your host, Hanley. This is Sean, and I'll let him take us out with his links, and yeah, and we'll continue from there. And then I'll stop recording, and we'll continue talking.
Okay. All right. So you can hit us up at redrebelarmor.ca. You can hit us up at red.rebel.armor for all our social medias on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
And that's armor with a U for you Canadians.
Yes. Just for you guys.
If Americans go, they're like, "Where's the? Why is there a U?" All right, I'm just gonna stop recording and then I'll give me 1 second.
Okay.